Good morning, Cardinals. It is truly a great day to be here to celebrate all of you. Before I get started with my thoroughly vetted and concise commencement address, I want to say thank you to some very important people. To my family over here for supporting me endlessly in all of my strange and whimsical endeavors, and believing in me at all times, and empowering me. To Melissa Downing for all that she's done for me, and for editing this speech and being really supportive and kind about it. Also to my mother, who did the same thing, but she said about the first draft of this quote, "It's not very funny." So hopefully maybe the second draft will hit a little bit better, Mom. Thanks. To my friends in the Department of Performing Arts, bravo tutti. I'm so excited to see what you do on the big stage that is life. To my brothers in Phi Gamma Delta, persistence alone is omnipotent. Press on, boys. And to my friends in the Center for Faith and Culture, peace be with you. It is truly a joy and a privilege to have been entrusted with giving this address today. After 3.5 years of education at a liberal arts college, fueled by copious amounts of caffeine and the pressure of ever-elusive deadlines, I've done my fair share of pretty intense writing, from ethnomusicological case studies to critical examinations of complex texts to CTI capstone papers. I've taken on some serious academic challenges. And you would think with all this considered that a approximately 700-word speech would be a piece of cake, yet somehow this has truly been my most challenging assignment to date. Commencement addresses are a complicated thing. At their worst, they're washed-out motivational speeches or overly optimistic, vague summaries of our collective story. And as with all journalism, the most important thing to be is honest, and so I will attempt to be just that. Although I'm far from qualified to tell an all-encompassing version of our story, I think a good place to start is at the beginning of my experience. For me, this story begins on August 22nd, 2020, when I arrived in Mathis room 209 with Mr. Kavanaugh, with a couple of IKEA bags overflowing with clothing, a Keurig coffee maker, and a brand new Billy J encrusted face mask. Along with these items, I brought a new haircut, a very bad haircut, unfortunately, a nervous smile, and a headstrong disposition backed by boundless naivety. Since then, I've invested in a suitcase, a larger coffee pot, and have been through several more haircuts, and thankfully we lost the face mask as well eventually. Regarding our collective story, the truth is that the class of 2024 has not had an easy go through our undergraduate days. Our first year, as exciting as it was shadowed by an ever-present pandemic. From countless COVID tests taken by my friends in athletics to the masked and distanced choral rehearsals that marked my first experiences in the concert choir. Our first moments in Jewel really were inconvenient, to say the least, though very necessary. We didn't take these precautions from some posture of sheepishness, as some would say, but as a means of caring for our community. At that time, we did what we could with the knowledge that we had to take care of our own. Indeed, our first year here was a case study in applying the William Jewell College mission statement. We asked reflective questions. What can we do to keep our artists performing? What can we do to keep students in the classroom instead of on the Zoom call as much as possible? How do we keep our athletes competing? We applied critical thought. Admittedly, we did this more effectively in some scenarios than others. And if you've seen the photos of the jazz band rehearsing with trash bag clad instruments, or understand what I'm saying. But nevertheless, even in our least practical and long-standing safeguards, we had boundless grace for one another. And most importantly, we acted with purpose. Together, we kept our community safe, and we operated in the greatest sense of normalcy that was feasible in that infamous year. The competencies that we built during the season of our undergraduate days did not cease when we overcame the pandemic. Rather, we carried these values, empathy, grit, and resilience with us even to this day, and they have shaped our collective identity as members of the Cardinal family. One of the marks of true, healthy community is not just celebrating triumphs together, but bearing one another's burdens in times of suffering. And and this community has done just that. Even this year, we experienced tragedy. We've worked through the harrowing of communal grief and the loss of those whom we love so dearly. And today, our very lives tell their story, even in their physical absence. So since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, may we honor their lives in the way that we choose to live our own. In addition to the collective resilience that our class has demonstrated, perhaps our other greatest learning is stewardship of our community and ultimately of our world. At the end of the day, despite our many, many differences, some of them even seemingly disparate, this community takes care of each other. And I'm so proud to call each and every one of you my peers, and I look forward greatly to seeing the ways that each of you foster communal care in the ways that you live your lives, in the ways that your deep gladness meets the world's deep need. The class of 2024, it has truly been a joy, an honor, and a privilege to navigate this season of life with you. And I can't wait to see what each of you do next as you continue to write and tell your story. And I hope that you'll carry our story with you as well. I leave you with this from a great poet of our time, Mr. Zach Lane Bryan, who says, "I do not and will not fear tomorrow, because I feel as though today has been enough." Thank you.